Ahoy hoy everyone. So today we are going to learn about the reproductive system, and we are going to start with the female reproductive organs. So we start with our ovaries, the oval shaped egg like bodies that you see over here. And we have ovaries on each side of the reproductive system of the female, and then we have a tube like structure called as the fallopian tubes. Okay, it's pretty easy to remember it once you know the structure. And then as you can see, we have this pear shaped body called as the uterus, which is the main part. We learn about the functions later on. This is the cervix, and this dark pink color hollow organ is our vagina. Okay, so without any further ado, let's learn about the functions of these parts and what they do. So ovaries, they are responsible for producing the eggs each month, okay, of the female, and they also produce the hormone estrogen. Okay, so the next one is fallopian tubes. What do these tubes do? These are just like those narrow tunnels which are responsible for the egg to make its way down to the uterus. Okay, so it's similar to like an egg will be released and it will travel through these tubes inside into the uterus. Okay, then we have the uterus itself. Uterus is more or less like a pear shaped body, and it is the main organ which is going to hold the fetus. Okay, this is the part where the embryo is going to, like the embryo, which is the fertilized egg. After that, an embryo is developed, and that fetus is going to develop inside the uterus. And also the uterus also develops a lining each month, which is called as endometrium. This lining is very rich in nutrients, and it is of course for the fetus, like the possible fetus. And if the egg is not fertilized, then this lining is shed each month, and this results in bleeding. Okay, the next organ that we have is the cervix. Now cervix is like the opening canal. It is the one which is between the bladder and our rectum. So we basically it's like you have your urinary bladder from where the urine flows, and then you have the rectum from where the excretory waste is removed, and then you also have the cervix. Okay, vagina is the birth canal, which you can see the dark pink organ, and this birth canal joins the cervix to the outside of the body. Okay, so vagina is responsible for the sexual intercourse. This is where sexual intercourse happens, and this is also where the menstruation blood flows out of your body. The last organ that we have is the vulva. This is the external portion of female genital organs which you can see outside of your body. Okay, so most of the female organs are internal. Now let's move on to the male reproductive system. In the male reproductive system, we have these oval shaped bodies again, which is the testis. And then we have the this hollow shaped organ called as the penis. Okay, it is also external. Then we have this wavy C-shaped structure called as the epididymis. Okay, and then we have this long tube called as the vas deferens. Okay, this is located inside the male reproductive part. We also have these small little ducts or channels called as ejaculatory ducts. We have this blue colored organ called as the urethra, from where the urine flows. Okay, so let's move on to the functions of the male reproductive system, starting from our testis. So testis is responsible for producing sperms. Sperms are the ones which are going to fertilize your eggs. Okay, and they also produce the male hormone called as testosterone. Then we have the epididymis. Epididymis is a C-shaped tube behind your testicles, the white-shaped egg that you see, okay, the testis, I'm sorry, and they are responsible for storing your sperm and also for bringing it to maturity. Okay, so it's kind of like an oven. It stores the sperm and brings it to maturity. Okay, then we have the vas deferens. Vas deferens is again a long tube which travels, which you can see, it kind of travels from the epididymis straight to the pelvic cavity, okay, that big oval shaped thing you see, and to just behind the bladder. Its function is to transport the sperm to the urethra, which is a tube that carries the sperm and urine outside the body. So it's kind of like epididymis, right? It's kind of like the fallopian tube in female reproductive part. Its only function is to travel the sperm. Then we have our small little channels that you see over here, the ejaculatory ducts. Okay, now the funny thing is that the ejaculatory ducts are a fusion of vas deferens and the seminal vesicles. Okay, so these are basically channels for producing the seminal fluid and also for transporting the sperm into the urethra, which will transport the sperm and the semen. Okay, so that's all with the ejaculatory ducts. Then we have the urethra. Now urethra is responsible for producing the urine and also for the ejaculatory semen. Okay, semen is nothing but a fluid which contains sperm and all the other things which are also ejaculated through the ejaculatory ducts. Okay, then we have the penis. Penis is responsible for delivering the sperm during the sexual intercourse. Okay, then we have the scrotum. Scrotum is the pink shaped thing which you can see behind the testis. Okay, it's basically it's outside the body. Okay, because most of the male parts are outside the body, because testis and the sperm needs to be at a temperature which is a little bit higher, lower than the body temperature. Okay, so these are sac-like organs hanging behind the penis, and they contain testicles as well as many nerve endings. Okay, so that's all. It's really easy, What did we learn today? We learned about the parts of the male and female reproductive system. So the organs. Now, what drives a car? The fuel, right? So similarly, what drives these organs is the hormones, which we will learn in another lecture. So in this lecture, we learned about the male reproductive system parts and the female reproductive system parts. And if you see, the only difference is that the male reproductive parts are outside the body and the female reproductive parts are inside the body. So in female reproductive parts, we have the ovaries, which produce eggs, fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, vagina, and the vulva. In the male reproductive parts, we have the testis, the penis, epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory ducts, and the urethra. Okay, now I want you to remember the functions of all of them and I'll see you in my next lecture. Thank you and bye bye.